I think these boxes make my bottom line really fair, actually. Hi everyone, this is Zyly Lore I. Welcome to a new video. Back in 2020, I made a video about my first furmeets. That video was my first recording ever, and to be honest, I really like how it turned out. I made it private, however, because since it was my first video, some details like transitions, the well-organized scripts, and the speech bosses were not very sharp. I did wear my old fursuit though. Oh, who's a cute little boy, eh? Who's a cute little fox, eh? Oh. Okay, I'll figure him. Back in 2020, lockdown, fearful of getting unlived by a pandemic, I opened a YouTube channel in celebration of my first fursuit arrival. It was all fun and games until I got bored of it and just abandoned it. Little did I know, however, that this YouTube curse was forever. My first furmeet. My first furmeet ever. I don't know how yours might have been, but mine was chaotic. In order to understand the story, we need to go back in time to when I was 19 years old. Back in 2015, I was living in my parents' house far from the furry scene, which in Argentina is in the city of Buenos Aires. For a country boy like me, coming from Santa Fe, a relatively small town in the north, the big city was a big challenge. It all started with my father saying we were going to spend New Year's Eve at my aunt's place in a city called La Plata, which, to be honest, I hate. I'm sorry. The highlight was I had never been to a furmeet before, and having both events coincide in the same week was like, son of a I'm in. The day rolls in and I decide to go by train cause may like trains a little. Son of a I asked my aunt to drive me to the station, and upon entering, I was about to pay at the gates and boom, the service was suspended. It turned out, and if you are a regular user of the Rogue line, back in 2019 the service was being electrified. Oh boy, I started to freak. Okay, calm down, Zyly. Everything has a solution. Imagine a young lad alone in the big city. I turned to someone and that person told me that trains were running from a station in the middle of the line called Berazategui, and that trains arrived from that station to the main station in Buenos Aires city, and that there were shuttle buses that we could take from there. Alright, I just climbed in and headed for Berazategui. How bad could that be, right? Upon arriving, I saw the beautiful landscape that was awaiting me. I was a little relieved that I was supposed to meet a friend there, but what I was not counting on was the fact that I arrived half an hour earlier. Zyly, your punctuality sometimes is questionable, especially when you wait alone in a dangerous neighborhood, right? On a serious note though, we rode a train, arrived in Constitucion, which is the main station, and let me tell you, what a big place to get lost. As a good train fan, I got lost in the 14 train platforms and the subway connection below. But my friend said that we could get to the furmeets faster by bus. I wanted to go by train, alright? I'm a train fan, I wanted to ride the train, wanted to run the subway. Anyways, I was there, and I was very much looking forward to meeting in person with all my friends, with whom I had been chatting through Telegram all the time. The meeting point was May Square, or in Spanish, Plaza de Mayo, which is the central square in the city of Buenos Aires. And from there, we would walk to the Women's Park in Puerto Madero. Little reminder for anyone who is not familiar with the city of Buenos Aires, Puerto Madero is a neighborhood that is far away from everything. No public transport available, and the parks are relatively new, which means that trees are not very big, so there was not much shade to, walk under. Yeah, I don't like Puerto Madero that much. Prefer other places. Alright, time to go to the Furmeets. We enjoyed the time, we played around, and I remember playing with a frisbee I had in my mouth for no reason at all. Gosh, the cringe. But anyways, I got to experience wearing a fursuit for the first time ever in my life too. That day, I decided that I wanted to be a fursuiter. That day, I also met the person who would then become my fursuit maker, and I also met people who I still talk to today. In fact, I had a good time, but let me tell you, Buenos Aires gets very hot in January, and that day was particularly hot. So much so that I started feeling a bit sick from one moment to another one. I felt a little headache and something on my nose. I touched it and I saw blood. Guys, I was bleeding. I mean, to tell you the truth, it was honestly due any time. I mean, I went on playing underneath the sun for hours without actually having water. And the temperature that day was particularly hot, as I was saying, 41 degrees Celsius. I was lucky not to have fainted. Just for you to imagine, this was my first badge. And by the end of that Furmeet, it was sand bleached. I decided to take a seat at a bench near me, and as I was saying, I felt a runny nose and immediately saw my hand all covered in blood. I almost passed out because I'm a little afraid of blood. But fortunately, a dude wearing a gold fursuit helped me get some water at a food truck across the street. It was very funny because the dude accompanied me all the way, telling me something about his ex or something I don't remember. But the thing is, I actually can't remember anything about it because I was more focused on not falling down in the middle of the street. I don't know what happened later, but all in all, I had my first Furmeet and I loved it, chaotic though it may have been. After the pot meetup, we all went to a shopping mall to get a snack and we played an arcade. I comment on this because we went to this mall by subway, so yes, I finally got to ride the underground. Yes, I finally did. But anyways, every good thing has to come to an end, and in order to go back to my aunt's place, I took a bus. And in the middle of the trip, the sky fell down in rain. I mean, I arrived in La Plata with all the streets flooded, and fortunately, my aunt was waiting in her car to pick me up at the bus station. I shared with all my family the amazing time I had, and I showed them all the pictures I had taken with all these fuzzy creatures. To tell you the truth, I felt really safe with my family accepting my furry adventure and the whole thing about me being openly a furry, which actually was something I really treasured. Anyways, I hope you guys have enjoyed my little story time. This Furmeet took place a long time ago and I did stuff which I shouldn't have done. When you go to a Furmeet, you need to keep hydrated and keep yourself safe from the sun during summertime. That goes without saying. I attended many Furmeets after this one, and in fact, I moved to Buenos Aires after some years, but nowadays I'm not very active in the community. I guess, you know, work gets me too tired to go out during the weekends, so I prefer to stay at home. Oh boy, I'm getting old. How about you guys? How was your first Furmeet? Drop it down in the comments and share it with us. If you never attended a Furmeet, however, just comment a dog emoji for the sake of the engagement. Remember to like and subscribe if you enjoyed the video, and I hope to see you all again in my next video, guys. Take good care of yourself. Yeah.